Hey guys, William Furno here today with a new LEGO Hero Factory Classic review for you guys, and this time we'll be taking a look at Rocka XL from the Summer 2011 blah 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 3.0 wave. So yeah, here is the box for Rocka XL. He has 174 pieces, so I believe this was $25. I think it retailed for $25. On the back here we have him facing off against the big bad witch doctor, and then we have the comic up here. And then, for the instructions, I don't believe these are ever really that interesting, but some people do want to see them, so I will just move the camera down here. So we have an ad for Scorpio versus Stormer, an ad for the Hero Factory DVD, the comic book creator, the games, the website, Hero Factory FM, Creep Crushers, all that jazz, poster for the Summer 2011 wave, poster for the Recon team, and your regular LEGO Club stuff. So now on to Rocka XL. Now this is a very special set because it is the first hero that LEGO decided to make in Bionicle, or more classic terms, a Titan set. Because the heroes in the past have not been very big. They've been clone sets and sets of 6, and they just generally haven't been very big. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of this set. I don't think it was executed very well, but it has nostalgic benefits to it because I just remember getting it and really liking it at the time. So I'm just going to go over it without trying to voice too much of my nostalgic opinion, and more talking about how it stands up now and yada. So as for like new parts that came out with this set, we have these like add-on parts with the clips on the end and gunmetal. We have all the gold armor is new. We have this spike piece on the side here. We have these claw pieces here, up here. You get 4 of those. We get the gold paw, which you get 2 of. We get the gold Hero Factory chest plate, the white hero core, the white inner head, the white, the gold lion head. We get these black shells here. And then you get the 3.0 signature parts. So you get a lot of new parts here, and you also get one kind of cool older part right up here. You get one of these original Bionicle ball joints that only connected through one, like it didn't go all the way through, so it was just a straight up ball joint. So it's kind of nice to see that part again. Let me see if I can force that back in there, and then this just kind of clips on there. So I'll go over Poseability next, because that is something for this set. We have kind of the ankles here. They can move up and down. They can't really move side to side all that much though. We have the knees, which is double jointed, not double jointed, but you get what I mean. There's 2, it connects on 2 different balls, and it moves, it has pretty good range of motion. The hips here are a little more hindered just because it's the Titan style stabilizer construction they have back here, where it's connected through 2 sockets, and one of them goes up to the side of the body and kind of just works like that. That's how that construction works, and that's been seen before, but it naturally hinders the leg from moving any farther up than that, and any farther back than that. But you can still get decent poses out of him. He's got very stabilized feet, I should say just stable feet, so you can still get some good poses out of him. As for the arms, up here you have elbows and wrists and everything. Same with this. I mean, you get extra points of articulation here with these claws. And then you get the shoulders, which are very restricted, just because the shoulders now also have a double connection point, meaning that they move like this and they can't go very far. But you do get this. You can adjust this as needed. If you want to go a little bit farther out, you can. It's just the way I had these pieces positioned here, you couldn't, because I like to see them kind of like this, but you can't go as far like that. You still can get good motion out of it, and as you can see, the shoulder pads kind of move with the arm, which is cool. It's kind of this construction here where it's just connected through a Hordika neck on here, and it's built in there, so it moves with the shoulder. And then on the back here, we just have these little wingy type things with spikes on the end of them. So, and then there's 2 in the neck, but I wouldn't recommend you keep him like that. I recommend you bend the neck a little bit so it stays like that. So that's about it for Poseability. Function-wise, he basically has the standard one that Titans usually do. He can shoot a Thornax sphere out of his Thornax launcher. Whoa, I can't reach that far. Camera's in the way. And this is in gold, which is a kind of cool color for it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But as cool as it is having a large hero and having him be gold and look very much like a lion, there's a few problems with him, and I would say the biggest one is proportion. Now proportion, this guy has like thick legs, and then they get skinny as you get to the top here, and this is a problem that existed on Firelord as well. It's a problem that exists with this type of construction for a larger set. These points of the legs here are just not filled in at all, and it just ends up looking really awkward because then you get to the middle of the body here. Now Firelord executed the mid-body section better than Rocka XL, which I'm comparing them because they have similar constructions in some ways. They decided to go with this wobbly sort of construction here where this armor shell can wobble around a little bit. It doesn't wobble around if you don't really touch it, but it won't stay straight all the time because it's just connected through one of these red ball joints, and that is all that is keeping it on there. And it just doesn't fill in enough space. It makes him look really skinny, and you can start to see the construction on the sides here. And then it gets really broad up here. You have these huge shoulder pads, and then this big bulky chest plate with the paw behind it, making it look even thicker, and then his head, which is just huge, which not in terms of this set, because it was made huge just so it fit more in with this set, but his head is big, and that kind of takes away from just the lack of armor or just lack of fill material that wasn't put in here at all. So you have that. And then the arms are kind of skinny, I would say, compared to the rest of the set. With these thick legs down here and this thick upper section of the torso, you kind of get these skimpy arms that are lengthy, and they kind of are gorilla-like because they just go so far down, especially with the added length of the Thornax launcher. So that ends up looking a little disproportionate. And then on the side here, we don't have any armor on this arm. Instead, they attempt to cover it up with this add-on piece here. Doesn't quite work. But it is what it is. They just tried to match the length. I'm dying inside. Lengths of the arms together. They tried to match those. So they just put the paw with the claw on the end, and didn't put any armor on that side. So it looks a little wonky. Like the arms, they're just a little different looking, and they just look a little wonky. And not to mention this claw. This claw is just intense. It's huge. It's not bad. It's intense. It's very big. And we get to the back here where there's little coverage, but that's expected. You can cover up the back a little bit if you want with these, but they won't do much. So that's the back. I mean, you don't expect much. You get these little heel kind of spikes on the back though, so you can, someone's behind him, you can kick him and shank him with his heel, which is pretty rad, dude. And I think the one other big con that I have with this set is that there's way too much going on, spike-wise, like accessory-wise. It's miraculous that all of these spikes, the original spikes from the set, sit in front of you today, because these things will get lost so easy. I've almost lost these, like, so much, but it's not really these I'm worried about. It's these. These are connected through one pin, and because it's softer material, these can just kind of swivel around. They look idiotic almost. I mean, look at that. And then they can just come out like that. And if you like, I used to have a bin of sets, like if you're like me, you just kind of threw them in a bin after you built them and played with them enough. These spikes, all four of them were always at the bottom, and it just made me so mad because whenever I wanted to pull this set out, I wouldn't get the full effect of it because I'd have to go and find those spikes. I just think the look is excessive. I mean, you have 6 spikes on the back here, you have 2 on the sides, and then you have 2 on the back of the legs. And it's not like I'm anti-spike. I think it brings out the lion in him a little bit more, but I think it's more the design flaw in these rubbery ones, which are used 8 times on the set. And they just will fall out way easier than the more stabilized one. Like these ones I'm okay with because they stay in very well. The plastic is not as rubbery, and it doesn't slide out. And I mean, if you buy this set and you're buying it to like bash it around and do a bunch with it, you gotta expect to lose a couple parts because the spikes on this guy are very loose. But that's enough talking about the spikes. I used to make fun of how many spikes were on this guy a lot. Like if you've seen my Hero Factory Origin series, I take time, like a minute of time out of this very serious episode to do a segment where I talk about how many spikes Rocka XL has. But that's enough about the spikes. You guys are probably really ticked off of me now. I'm not a great reviewer, I know. And the story-wise, I think it was a little illogical how it happened, but it's a kids' TV show, so I'm not going to really say it's a con about this set. But basically, he just gets thrown into this little chamber with the other heroes, and Witch Doctor is out there fighting Stormer, I think, and they got to figure out a way to beat him, and then they find all of these spare parts, and they just attach them to Rocka. So that's the story behind this. Now, before I finish up and kind of complete my thoughts, I thought it was best just to compare the size. I'm not going to compare sets because it's obvious that these are very different sets, but they are the same character. So you can see this is the size difference between Rocka XL and Rocka 3.0 regular size. Kept his color scheme, basically kept his liony look. They just, it's like they put a bomb in him and it just exploded. This is what happened. So yeah, that's a size comparison. As you can see, he's way taller than Rocka normally would be. But that's about all I have to say about him. I think he's he's a cool set to build. It was a fun build, and in some cases he's cool to look at and play with. He is. I mean, when you're a kid and you get this set, it's pretty fun to play with, but you're gonna have to expect to lose some parts, which is one of the cons that comes with this set specifically. So I give him like a 7 out of 10. I'd say he's not bad. I'm sorry, I'm reaching back just to grab the box so I can have my little, ending segment here. So 7 out of 10. He's not bad. He's just it's not the best way they could have executed an XL figure for the first time, but it's ambitious, I should say. Ambitious in whatever way you want to take it. So that's all I got to say about Rocka XL. Thanks for watching this review, and I'll see you guys next time with the last single character in this series, Witch Doctor.